Lady Myya,
And
and
I am here
so
with
we are going to conversate today because he is awesome. Okay, so first off, Roman is originally from Philly, and you know your girl's from Philly. And then on top of that, Roman up and left and went to California. All right, y'all. You see the tan, right? You see the tan. Okay, well, you know, that's all we need to know. All we need to know is he got the tan. Okay, so for the most part, he is an entrepreneur and visionary creative. And I love that he said that on his bio. And I was just like, oh, that's interesting. So I'm definitely interested in everything that he has going on. So my Mayan tribe, please welcome Emir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here with us and just, you know, telling us about you and what you're doing and all opportunities, you know, that you're just throwing out there. What's going on
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah, just trying to make it happen.
Yes.
Just with a dollar and a dream, young black man from Philly. So, gotta do what I gotta do.
Yes. Okay, so you got to tell us the story. We talked about it before this recording, but how in two worlds you went from here to there. I just need to, you know, give me the highlights, you know, bullet points, whatever you want to do, you know.
Okay, it's a long story, honestly. It's a long story that has been over the course of 2 years, honestly. From my transition from Philly to LA, I've been here for 2 years now. And when I first moved here, I found myself homeless. Because, as you said in my intro, I literally packed up and moved. I had a month worth of cash, I had no job, and I had took a bet on myself to find some housing and find a job, and only had a month to do it. Ended up finding, the stability in employment in 3 days, but the housing situation, it was tricky for the first 5 months. And it was so tricky that I found myself sitting on the curb with all of my belongings that I had from Philly. I'm talking suitcases, duffel bags. I was working at Warner Brothers, so they gave me a throwaway bag that was like torn up a little bit because I had all my stuff in there from iron falling out the bag. And I was just sitting on this curb looking at my biggest fear, which was being homeless. And to my left, there was also a homeless man a couple of feet away from me. So it was like I was literally living in my biggest fear and looking at my biggest fear. And I had to pull myself together, quick, figure out a plan. And when I got some stability in housing a couple months later, I was reflecting on that moment, that dark moment of sitting on the curb 3,000 miles away from your comfort zone, everything you know, no one to call to help you, to pull you out. And I was like, the problem was that I was dependent on one source of income, and that was the entertainment industry. And I realized I can't go back to that spot. So I had to, come up with another plan. I started to think about all of my skills, all of my interests, and watches came to mind. And I've always had this dream of partnering with Rolex when I became a household name in the entertainment industry. And I said, why wait for that to happen when I can literally create my own company, my own luxury watch, Rolex, and, leave a legacy for my family and actually have it stand for something in my community. So that's what I did. And I spent 18 months developing my business. And, we just recently launched on September 1st.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
so when you go back home, they're going to be calling you Hollywood. You know that, right?
They was calling me that before I even left.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
yeah. I was just in Philly actually last week.
Crazy.
But I didn't get the Hollywood, that from them then. But people been calling me that because I knew I knew I wanted to be in this industry, the entertainment industry, since I was 14. So people always said to me, you have the look, and you're made for the industry, and they always saw something in me. So, being told I was Hollywood, whether it's from people who are saying in a joking manner or people who are hating, I've been getting that for years.
It's always somebody, ain't it?
Right,
Always
always.
somebody. to try to take your dream and belittle your dream.
Yep.
Those are the people that I don't want to say small-minded, but I don't think they are educated in further in life, or what they can want for themselves. A lot of people that think, your dream is too big, sir. You Philly, we small mind, we small mind. Look, this is all we need to do. Work for the government, maybe, get you a
Yeah.
good job, some benefits.
Yeah.
And I think,
Yeah.
that pool gets smaller and smaller every time, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been told I need a reality job.
Mm.
When I first, my parents didn't tell me, but other relatives told me. When I first said, when I went to Delaware State University to major in mass communications, trying to figure out how to become an actor. And I was telling people I'm majoring in this because I want to be an actor. And they were saying, you need a reality. And I'm like, well, what exactly does that mean? Like, what, I know what it meant, but I'm like, what does that mean? Why can't becoming a successful working actor be a reality? And you say it's not small. You don't call it small. I call them small minded. I couldn't think of nothing else to call it. It's like, and I get it because I come from a family where we don't see too much of that. So I understand, and some of them just want they have their best interest for me, but my journey isn't it for everybody to understand either, and I had to come to that realization. But yeah, I've always been told you need a reality job and just brush it off.
Why do they always try to put us in the box, sir? This is what I'm
I
trying
don't
to.
know. Yeah.
First off, I say this to so many people. I said, you know what? You know how they say, you just definitely want to think outside the box. I got rid of the box about 8 years ago. I
Mm.
didn't want nothing to do with a box.
It's too
Don't
small. Yeah.
exactly. And so it was just, this is why I've been, all up and down the East Coast, because I'm like,
Hmm.
no, box, what? No, what is you talking about? I got wheels. I'm ready to go.
Absolutely.
That's how you.
Absolutely. Yep. And I still get that too with people telling me to focus on one thing. And I'm like, sorry, it's impossible. It's impossible. I have too many gifts that God has blessed me with to just be doing one thing. And like it's not going to work.
That's what's happened. You know what? I think, and I've told somebody this a while ago, actually a couple days ago, and I said, so basically, for the most part, with what you said, like getting what's why do you have a small mind for me just because you didn't make it or the people around us didn't make it? We can make it. Only thing we got to do is want it. And when you want it bad enough, oh, it'll happen. It might take a while, but it'll happen. So what I wanted to say was this. I had told somebody the other day, I said, there's such a shift at this point in time. Nobody really sees it unless they are people that really have a drive and a want and a yearningness to do it. So everything that we had said at one point in time, you know what, I'm going to be that. I'm going to do this. And did it and stepped out. It's been made, and it just kind of got to the point where everything got magnified like 10 times over, and people are not even realizing that. So now the people that staying home not doing anything or whatever, man, there's nothing to do. There's plenty to do. You just don't want to do it. That's the difference. But when somebody has a drive, they're doing it. They're like, you know what, I'm just gonna, okay, well, if it's free, it's for me. Let me see what I can do. Let me get online, see what's going on there. There's so many different opportunities that has opened that don't allow for a whole lot of education to do. And that's always a good thing because somebody told me, no, my kids. Okay, so my kids told me They're horrible. My kids told me basically, Mom, what did you go to college for? And I said, I had a major in English. And why she turned around and asked me, so how's that going for you? And I'm like, are you trying to clown
Yeah,
me?
right.
I said, you don't understand. I said, in the 90s, going to school for English, that was how you were going to either be a writer
Hmm.
or you were going to be an editor.
Yep.
So, you had to do one or the other, when you went as an English major. And I love words. Don't know why, just do. And so she goes, how's that doing for you? So I asked her to write me 2 paragraphs on the word risk. And she goes, yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to start it off as, yes, being an English major is a big risk. And I was
Wow.
like, I'm going to clock you. But she was right. But at the time, I was only doing what I was told to do. I wasn't happy about it, but, that was what they told me I had to do. But I think what you did, woo, you did a whole leap,
Yeah.
like, let me skip this state, this state, this state. Wait, let's just go to the very end, from one side to the complete other side. And
Yeah.
you're young. How old were you when you were out there?
I
When
was 23
you were 23 when you left?
when I moved. Yep.
Shut
Hmm.
up. Okay,
I just
so
turned 23.
mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm. What did your parents say? That's what I want to know.
They were all for it. I spent the summer out here for an internship
Mm-hmm.
before, a year before I moved. And I've always told them this is where I want to go. Um, since, like I said, I knew I wanted to be in this industry since 14. To
Mm-hmm.
be in this industry means you need to eventually end up in LA some way,
Right.
somehow. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think they already knew it was coming. We all just didn't know how it was going to happen or when it was going to happen. So
Mm-hmm.
when I told them I'm moving to LA, they were like, okay, go
Mm-hmm.
ahead. You're grown now. You got your college degree. You
Right.
graduated from college. Go ahead and make it happen. Thankfully, I had that support because I know a lot of people who don't have that support.
Wouldn't normally. So, that's always a good thing. Like,
Hmm.
okay, well, now that I have that, it just means that I can do it,
Yeah,
and just keep going and whatnot. So I think that is a blessing. That's
yeah,
always a blessing, to have the support of your family, even though they may not have been as supportive as you would like. At least they allowed you to do so. I was just like, you know what, son? You're driven. Go ahead. You've been
hmm
out there before. You kind of got a gist of it. It's one thing to just go out there and you've already been there and you kind of like um, have like gone back and forth,
yeah.
I went from Philly to Texas.
Mm.
So I went the other way.
Yeah, half and down a little bit.
I went woo, right to Texas at the very end. And oh God, I loved it. Oh God, absolutely loved it. And it was such a great place to be. And I'm still begging my husband, like, babe, can we go? Can we go to Texas? And he's like, no. I'm like, come on. You want to. No, I don't. Yes, you do. Because I think he's only scared because of all the stories we had. Because we had a Scorpio in our house. We had,
Mm.
all kinds of big. I mean, the dragonflies are as big as our head.
Mm.
So he's like, he don't like bugs. He's like, no, we're not going. Let me ask you this: philanthropic. entrepreneur? What are
Yes,
you doing? What's that for you?
I I am serving my community. I'm serving those who had primarily who have the same upbringing as I did. Um, Someone who didn't see the image of the dream of the image that they had in their head. They didn't see
Mhm,
that growing up. They didn't have access to that. I'm providing resources for my community. Later on through my company, I actually have right now, which is called our Eartha Care Mission, which is our charitable division underneath my company, where we're putting our feet to the ground. Next year, hopefully, I will host my first summit, which will be hosted in Philadelphia. And my goal is to bring Hollywood to North Philly to create opportunities, to create exposure, because I find that that is the reason why so many of us we can't really secure our dreams, we can't really pursue our dreams, is because we don't have access or exposure or opportunities to get it. And it took for
mhm,
me to understand that logic when I moved to Los Angeles, where I'm seeing the studio lots, I'm seeing the production companies, I'm having conversations with these billionaires, millionaires, and these celebrities, and that is what keeps me going. So I'm like, if I can bring these same people, same these same opportunities that's in this city to my city, and
mhm,
create some type of platform and bridge the gap, then that's what I'm going to do. So hopefully, we can get the summit rolling next year. But when I say I'm a philanthropic entrepreneur, that is what I stand on. That is what I'm rooted on. Is to
mhm,
provide opportunities, is to bring up my people, lift up my people, and just to continue to help see our people win, whether if it's mentally, whether it's to encourage someone, or whether if it's to put food in somebody's stomach. That's what I'm all about.
mhm. Oh wow, wow, wow. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, I see. Okay, so I'm about to go here. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Hmm.
What is that?
To me, I feel like to have the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, you have to be willing to pass the game. You have to know what it is to be a Black entrepreneur. The blueprint. What is the foundation to be a successful Black entrepreneur? And I think the only way we can get that blueprint is if we're passing down the knowledge, we're passing down the gems and the wisdom to other upcoming and inspiring entrepreneurs. And I think that's the only way we're going to succeed with the blueprint, is if we pass that down. I was on a podcast called the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint a couple months ago. No, last month actually. And that is what that platform was all about, is passing gems, how to leverage resources, how to call on your connections, how to take inventory on the stuff that you have now, how to utilize money, where to get money from. All of these things are in the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, and we need to continue to pay that forward.
Yes, no, no, that makes complete sense. Complete sense. Okay, what is the name of the watches?
Eartha, Eartha, Eartha.
I thought about Eartha Kitt when I saw that. I was like,
Yeah, I get that a lot. We have no, I love Eartha Kitt. She's an icon, a legend. But my company has no affiliation with her, right?
I know,
So
I know, but it was
yeah,
familiar. That's what I'm
uh-huh.
saying. And
Yeah,
I
I
think
get
that
that a
is a
lot.
great name. Certainly, certainly. That is a
Thank you.
great name. Okay, so let me ask you this, because what does it look like for you now,
Mm.
as far as what you're doing and how you're doing it, and like the resources that you're able to give to the people that need it most?
Right now, it looks like it kind of feels a little bit surreal, if I'm being honest. Like the fact that I was literally able to take a vision in my head and actually can physically hold it and look at it. Like when I first put on my watch, I'm like, this is mine. And I'm 100% behind the creative process. Like I design my watches myself. So, to actually see it from sketch on a paper to sending that sketch to my manufacturer, who then sent me a digital sketch, to now physically having it on my wrist is like a surreal moment. And the fact that, I am able to use the resources from my company, and I have the entire vision for how I want to do that. And I'm seeing the potential that it has right now on this level, considering that it's only been a month, and what this business stands for and what its foundation is and what it's rooted in. It's very humbling. It's like it's mind blowing that I'm even the leader of this company, and getting it to reach its best potential. And just being an entrepreneur, I've noticed that I have grown a lot, even personally, as a person operating this business. So the growth that I have seen, the potential that it has matched with that, is just a phenomenal feeling. And I'm really just looking forward to see where it goes from now.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's true. You know how you know how there's so many different people that are not necessarily willing to take the risk, but you
Yeah,
did. And to see, like you said, that creative process, I mean, it's big. It really is. And and I think for the most part, um, you're going to be more of a mentor to a lot of children that wouldn't necessarily see stuff like that,
yeah.
to see the face, see where you came from, and see
Hmm.
where you have gotten to, and how,
Hmm.
and I think that's very important. Like, what was that like? Like, what was the process like? I know it was only 2 years, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure, it wasn't easy. I know you were saying like the first 6 months was tough. What
Yeah,
happened after that?
yeah. So I after that, as far as mentoring, I've been mentoring, young black boys since I was in college. Like I became a first time mentor maybe like my junior year of college. And what's funny is that someone just DM'd me 2 days ago, who looks like he'd been in the watch industry for a little bit, asking me to be his mentor. And he's like, he's from Philly, he's looking for a mentor who looks like him, black man. And I'm like, wow, like I've only been in the industry for a month, but I have been getting so much exposure and so much publicity, and is making a lot of noise on social media, to the point where it does look like I have arrived. And there's a part of me, honestly, that feels like I'm not even there yet. But that's just myself need to do a reflection check on myself, to really see, like, no, bro, you really are out here doing the thing, and people are taking note of it and inspired by it. So the fact that people want me to mentor them right now, this so early, it's an awakening, and again, and it's just showing me the potential that I have, and I have to make time for it. That's one thing about me too. I have to make time for that. Like that is something that I'm very big on, mentoring and paying it forward. And I have to make time for it. But that first 6 months of being in LA, and dealing with that, being I think the problem was that I was isolated. I had my network of people in the industry, but they weren't, I couldn't call them up and say, can I come sleep on your couch or your basement? Do you have an extra room for me? I didn't have that. So, being out here, being isolated, it really forced me to, one, grow spiritually, because I didn't have no one but God out here with me. So I had to, got rooted in my church immediately, knew what church I wanted to go to before I got here, but got rooted in there immediately, and really just had to depend on myself. And with all of that, with that isolation, it forces you to be in your own thoughts. It forces you to self-check so many times, like over and over and over again. And I had to realize what was really important to me as a man who has integrity, who is operating in this industry where integrity doesn't exist. And I had to juggle all of that together. And I think a lot of that entire process, that first year, it was very stretching. It still is stretching. I'm not going to sit here and, pretend that it's not hard because I have a company and I have all these accolades. Like, it is still hard. And considering us being in the middle of a pandemic, that doesn't make it even easier. So, but that first year was, it was dark. It was very, very dark. And I still have moments when it's dark. But at the end of the day, I moved here with intention. I moved here with a purpose, and I'm not moving back home. So like that's not even an
I
option.
hear that.
So it's like we just gonna have to figure it out.
No, I hear you on that one. You said, no, we're not going back home.
Nah.
Don't even think
Mm-mm.
about it. No, that's not happening. I understand completely. Your story is just absolutely phenomenal. It really is, and I can see why you got the accolades, because when you have somebody that's that determined to do what it is that they really wanted to do in the first place and be intentional in doing it, it makes it a lot easier to just kind of tell that boy is going somewhere. Not boy, but that man is going somewhere, you know. And when you see somebody that has that intention, all you can see is just it, that person soaring and everything like that. It's just like, watching a comment, you're just kind of like, oh my gosh, where's that going? But you don't know because of the fact that it's driven. It's driven. And I think
Thank you.
you are awesome, sir. You
Thank you.
are, like, to do it all in 2 years. That is awesome. Or less. Actually, you said less. And so, like, how's the epidemic kind of like with
It,
the business?
yeah. It's actually, it's surprising me because I didn't think people would be supporting right now because a lot of us are out of work, a lot of us are unemployed. But sales are, well, for one, I didn't really set an expectation when I first launched the business because I didn't know what was going to happen. This is my first company. So, I knew people liked my products because I did a soft launch a couple months before and did pre-orders and stuff like that. So I saw a little bit of the response to my products, but when I actually launched, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. So I didn't set a sales goal or anything like that. Now, the second month of business, I have been setting monthly sales goals and weekly sales goal. And I just made my first sales goal last week. So thank you. So yeah, it's going pretty well right now, I guess. And I think what it is my story. People, they see the potential and people want to support. And I'm so grateful and honored that people actually do love my product. I see the comments, I see the reviews on my website, I see the feedback, and I see the people reaching out to me to do interviews and have me in magazines and publications. So so far so good, and I just wanted to keep it that way.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, I got connections. I mean, I'll give you some numbers. It's not a
Okay.
problem. Okay. I feel like I do feel like I started something and did not see it going where it went.
Mm,
And even more, like, I'm still in that, stuck in that, like, my vision, the way I
okay.
see it, I'm still stuck in the first day.
Mm,
So I'm constantly drilling, drilling, drilling. Is that something that you're experiencing as well?
yeah, I
Yeah.
am. It took. I had a conversation with my friend, and I was telling her, I'm like, yeah. So I reached my sales goal for this week, but I didn't really feel. It was just like, yeah, that's okay. We still got work to do, and
That's the
we still got.
Phillian in you,
Yeah,
sir. That's
I
the
know, right?
Phillian.
And that way of thinking, it's kind of a blessing and a curse to me because it's not really giving me an opportunity to really sink in and think about, like, pay attention to what's going on. Like, you just made progress. Like you just reached a weekly sales goal. But it's I don't know. Like
I don't
I'm
think.
actually not even go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, I was saying I'm not even paying myself through my company right now. I said I wanted to pay myself when we bring in at least $10,000 in revenue. So I think when I get to that $10,000 mark, then I'll feel it. But right now, just like okay, let's figure out what's next.
But I hear you on that one because it's like, we don't notice it, because of the fact that, we are stuck in the groove or the drive or the passion or whatever. Like we
Yeah,
know exactly what it is that we see. We see the vision. So we're just working towards the vision. Everything else
yeah,
is just fluff, like, oh,
yeah,
no, 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 I don't have time. And I think that is one great thing about being affiliate, because it was just like, we know how to be humble for so long
yeah, yes,
to get to where we need to be. It's just
we
like,
do.
man, like, no, that's good, but I want that thing over
Yeah,
there.
right.
That's all
Uh-huh.
right. But
And
so you
then
just keep
the issue
working.
that I had too was uh like I would envision something so many times. So then when it actually does come to fruition, it's just like, oh well, here it is. Like I knew it was going to happen anyway. So then it still puts me in that place of not really soaking in the moment because it's like I knew it was going to happen. So I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't like that about myself though, honestly.
No,
I
no,
want to
no,
change
but
it.
it's good. It's good because, like, okay. So the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. Somebody told me not too long ago, sometimes God downloads things into your mind and into your brain, into your heart for you to work towards.
Hmm.
So if he gave you helping the community, making watches, and being a philanthropist, why wouldn't you? So now you got these things you're working on, and it's just like you're working on them because you were already prepared to work on them.
Hmm.
So now it doesn't feel like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm just doing, because it's like, no, there's still more work to be done, because
Hmm.
I need the vision that was downloaded to me is that,
Yeah.
and it's not this.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
That's
right.
awesome. See, I see. I'm not going there. I'm not going there, because it's like your stuff is going to explode.
Thank you.
It's going to explode, and it's going to be not really in the way you think.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting, and you're going to be okay. You're going to be like, what the heck just happened? I love those moments, right?
Thank you.
I'm like,
Yeah.
how did that? Oh, that's me.
Right. Yeah. I had that moment when I first moved to LA. Like my plan was to move here and get a job at Walmart or some, a retail job because I've been working since 16. So I'm like, I know I can get a job that
Right.
easily. I ended up getting a job at a major studio lot in 3, 4 days. That does not happen.
Mm-mm.
That doesn't happen. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking this, but in reality, God has got this over here. And it's just like, how did I get here? Like, I'm walking on a Warner Brothers lot. Like, how did this happen? I was just
Mm-hmm.
sleeping in Frankfurt last week, the other day, you
No,
know?
not
And
Frankfurt.
now here it is. I'm walking on a studio lot and I'm seeing Tay Diggs and I'm like nah, like this is just
Yeah,
crazy,
that's
you know?
surreal, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's craziness. It's funny because even when I bump into Terrence Howard, I'm like, what's up? You're like, oh, okay, because I used to live near Plymouth Meeting, and that's where he lived.
Mm,
And so I'm like, so that was only the last, what was that? What, years ago? That was in 14. So
mm.
2014, I had went back to Philly. I'm from Chicago because I couldn't stand Chicago, and I was just like, okay, I gotta go. And So I was just like, you know what? You just don't ever want to go back. I mean, it's there if you do, but at the same time, like my goal forever will be to never go never
Mhm.
go back. But at the same time, I think you just, you can be blessed once you set your heart and your intentions on the very thing that you really truly want.
Yeah,
And it's all downloaded into our bodies anyway.
you're right.
So it's
Yeah.
funny when you step out on faith, right?
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I've never done that in my life. That was the first time. Like, it I still think about it all the time. I'm like, yo, I was crazy. I'm still am crazy, but I'm like, I am really crazy. Like, I am crazy as hell. Like that. It was just like that stepping out on faith is real, and it's not easy neither. And I can't really give advice on how to do it. You just gotta do it.
Just
And
gotta
it's
do
like,
it.
what's
Don't
the
even
worst
think
can
about
happen?
it.
Exactly,
Exactly.
just do it. And I'm like, the worst that can happen, I run out of money, and gotta move back to Philly. At least I'll have somewhere else to go before all my funds be completely depleted. At least put this $300 something aside in case I have to get a one-way ticket back home.
Thank you.
But 2 years going in now, and it's just like, just take the leap. Just do it.
Wow. See, that is amazing. That is such. He gonna make me put you on my show. Okay, so how do we get a hold of you, Mr. Amir?
Yeah, so you can follow my company, Eartha Watch Company. Our slogan is connecting time to the mission. But if you do go in Google, type in Eartha Watch Company, we will pop up. Our website is earthawatches.com. Social media is at Eartha Watch on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. If you want to follow me personally, my Instagram handle is at Mr. Horton _ MRHORTON _ and that's how you can find me. Our email is on our website. If you have any questions about our product, if you would love to have me on your platform, please email me at earthawatches.com for all of that jazz.
Yes. Okay, you guys don't know. It's about that time. We're gonna roll this up just a smidge, because now I need to talk to my brother, because I'm like, you know what? No, we ain't done with you yet, but that's okay. Anyway, if you would like to reach me, I am onelady.myya@gmail.com. That's MYYA, and you know why? Because the girl is special. I will talk to you guys later.